What's up, y'all? It's Trey Brown for the channel. Everybody's seen the Kanye interview, right? The Kanye Academics interview. It shut the internet down. There's a copy on this channel. But after the interview, he interviewed Adin Ross to see his take on the interview. Now, background on Adin, he's top streamer. He's also Jewish, of Jewish descent. And he also had an interview booked with Kanye in 2021. He talks about it in this interview. The thing I want to dialogue about with you guys also is, if you don't agree with someone, can you just label their narrative hate speech? And what makes something hate speech? And is Kanye's narrative in this interview hate speech? The reason I think this interview is great is because it's from a Jewish person's perspective, a younger Jewish person's perspective, somebody in our demographic, in our culture that we could relate to. You know, we all know Adin, and it's great to see his perspective of what Kanye has to say, to be able to say, yo, I agree, or yo, I disagree, or yo, these are the points where I feel like y'all are, you know, invested too much emotionally. Now let's watch the interview, and I'll be back.
I like the interview, bro. It was very raw.
It was, right?
But Ye gotta get some help, bro. Like, I love Ye. You know, as someone who loves Ye, you gotta get some help, bro.
Well, I break it down. Explain.
He's obviously not well, right? He's obviously going completely out of his way. He's not doing so well.
Wait.
He needs to get. And I'm not even talking about putting him on medication. Please don't do that.
No.
Put him so
you gotta explain what you mean. He's not well.
I mean, he's tweeting Virgil, free Diddy. He's tweeting crazy things out about crazy people. Even talk about my people for a second.
Okay.
He's still going crazy, right? He needs to just.
I feel like he's trying to give some context and certain stuff. Now, by the way, you don't have to. I don't agree with certain things, but I feel like again, if it was just random, sporadic, no reason to shit, he's trying to give his own reasons, even if it's maybe it's not founded in any type of thing that you could add substance to. Be like, well, I don't get it, but in his frame of mind and POV, he's making it make sense to how he feels. Does that mean maybe because you don't agree with his POV that he's losing it? Because if you agreed with it, you'd be like, yo, he's making sense, and yo, he's spitting facts, right?
I just think he's not in his space. Like, look, he has a song named Violent Crimes. He has an album called Jesus is King. He spoke about a lot of truth, and honestly, Don was amazing as well. I'll even say Vultures. One is great, but he's contradicting a lot of the things he spoke about and rapped about, and I think he's hurting himself. And obviously, I care about. I think he's a great musician. He's one of the best. But to have him obviously accessible and doing what he's doing, it just sucks to see is all, you know? I obviously pray for him, and I pray for his family. And he just deserves to be happy. He deserves to be, you know, doing the right shit. That's all.
What would you consider the right shit?
Not what he's doing, right? Not retweeting porn, because he's rapped about, you know, stuff like that, like violent crimes. Obviously, he doesn't. You know that song Violent Crimes, right? That I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. So
he's just down this path, bro. I think he needs to get his head out of the gutter a little bit here.
So
you guys you could say I'm an L. You could say I'm a Jewish agent. Fuck. Like I said,
I would
talking about my people for now.
No, you wasn't talking to the chat. I would never say that. What I would say,
talking about Diddy and talking about Virgil and things like that. Virgil's passed away, bro, and everyone knows that Virgil, what he's done for a lot of people is amazing. He's created Off-White. He's done so many amazing things. It's just like, I don't know. It just sucks to see. It's sad to see is all. So I don't know. It's just painful to watch.
So as we keep going, I put a definition of what hate speech is on the screen. If you read it, it says it varies depending on where you find the definition. In the variation, the difference is whether just the speech is hate speech or the speech inciting action to the listeners is hate speech. So in the end, we're gonna see which one you agree with. You know, Adin is basically saying he feels Kanye is not himself. He's not basically living up to the things that he knows Kanye for. Now, this is another human being. This is another grown man. They grow, they change, they have alternate views. And there's no question that Kanye offended people by his speech. But does it rise to the level of hate speech? Does it rise to the level of this reaction that we've all been seeing since the interview? Let's watch.
What I've realized about Ye, by the way, do I think there's trauma? Absolutely. I think a lot of his points and the things he now goes on is because of trauma, right? Losing his mom, watching an entire industry pretty much.
Sorry to cut you. Do you understand that everything he's doing now, it's impacting his children's lives? It's not just him anymore. He's a father, right? And again, like, that's the issue. Like, now, like, there's shit that can be used against him that's gonna hurt his family. Like, that's the issue. People need to he needs somebody around him to shake him and be like, hey, putting you in a spot, checking you into a mental institution. Let's isolate you from all this shit and let's help you. Let's get you naturally like going again. Let's get you like in a better headspace. Like, there's nobody around that I feel like that's doing that. And I could be wrong, but he needs
Aiden,
that.
Here's the thing though. In his POV, everything he's saying is going off of his own experience. It's one thing, like, again, we have this idea of what normal is, right? Like, for example, I avoid certain subjects. I don't want to speak on certain things, whether it's lack of knowledge or just because I know, hey, once you go down that realm, it's just not going to be good for you and anyone around you. For him, he has really personal like vendetta that he's kind of almost, he has axes that he's grinding. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, again, what I agree with you is that it's affecting, there is things that he's doing that's affecting his kids, but I can't say like he's not sticking to his convictions based on how he feels. He really feels like, for example, I don't agree with the Virgil thing. My thing is, if someone's dead.
So at this point, watch Aiden's body language. He is furious because at this point, Akademiks is kind of validating Kanye's point of view, which Adin disagrees with, which is, you know, understandable. You have your stances, but where do you go with that disagreement? Do you then declare that somebody should be shut down, canceled, medicated, hospitalized, or even worse, you know, taken out the way? This is the conversation that's being had. Kanye himself even referenced that he's scared for his life from certain people, canceling them, you know, taking them out. So let's watch his body language. He is furious.
The issue is dead, right? However, for him, he feels like Virgil is someone who benefited from being one of his, you know, people that came up underneath him, that essentially people looked at as that's the guy who is the anointed one because he was normal. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, my thing is, I think you agree on what you agree on, and I think that obviously that guy, Ye, is one of the greatest ever. It just sucks that he's kind of ruining his, he's ruining himself. It sucks. It's not polite. Sorry, not polite. It's not nice to see. And again, obviously I'm Jewish, so people could look at this and be like, oh. Bro, listen, bro. Let me explain something to you right now.
See, Akademiks cut him off right there. He might have did Adin a favor. Adin was about to go into it about how, you know, his people this, his people that, and Akademiks cut him off. I think he did him a favor right there. Let's watch.
What's the most offensive thing you think he's done or he said? Because so I've looked at, like, even when I see, you know, the outfit when I interviewed him, he said a few things. He said, listen, people make money off our pain, but we can't ever encroach on their pain. And he also, when feeling used, he says, I'm going to put myself in a space, like he's named all these people he's helped, John Legend, Ty Dolla $ign. He's helped all these guys make millions of dollars for generations to come. And he said at the convenient moment when they could have been like, hey, I don't agree with him. And let's not get to, I don't agree with him because he supports Trump. He's wearing a red hat. They all basically said, this guy. And he feels betrayed a bit. So now when he's being a little extreme, obviously that's not what I would do. But he feels like, I'm going to put myself in a space where if you're going to ever benefit from me, you can't just conveniently just f me over.
Yeah, Kanye was saying certain people benefit off of others' pain. These artists put their pain on record, and then it sells millions of records, but the people who's in control of the contract are the ones truly profiting off of that artist's pain. Now, the moment the artist or somebody else rocks their pain on a chain, they're ostracized. You know, that's his point. That's the point he was trying to make, whether you agree with it or you disagree with it. Let's watch.
And again, not the way I would handle it necessarily, but do I understand that POV once it's explained? I kind of do. I could understand it even if I wouldn't do it. Thoughts?
I mean, I understand why he's doing it too, but I still don't think it's the right thing to do. I mean, I completely get it as well. I completely get it. His whole life, Jewish people were, like, I get it. He has a Jewish accountants, Jewish lawyers, Jewish doctors, Jewish everything. And they all fucked him over. So his thing is like, okay, now this is why I'm doing this, and this is because of this. But what he does, what you don't understand is it's not just affecting him. He has a very, 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 very high influence act. What he says, it carries weight, right? Obviously, the way the internet is now, everything is kind of like, oh, you're on X.com. This is what can be said here. This is what can't be said here. I believe in freedom of speech. I'm very heavy on that. You know this. I just don't believe in kind of doing what he's doing, though, still. Everyone should be able to speak how they want to feel. However,
see, that's it right there. Everyone is allowed to speak how they feel. However, what's the however? And who governs the however? Who gets to say, okay, no, however, you don't get to say that because what? Let's watch.
when you're somebody like him, you hold that much influence, you can speak the way you feel, and you can kind of say what you want to say, but you don't have to have it so it impacts multiple people's lives besides himself. So that's kind of my whole take on that. I think that he needs somebody around him to literally say, no, this is not right what you're doing. Bro, it's sad. That's all, bro. It's sad to watch. It's sad.
There was a time,
and maybe I'm a fucking, I don't know, maybe I'm a buzzkill and I'm a Jewish person that, like, I'm just telling you, it's like it hurts to see what he's doing to himself in his career. I just think that somebody needs to put him in check and not medicate him. Do not medicate him.
If you notice, Adin keeps saying throughout the interview, do not medicate him, do not medicate him, as if he's speaking directly to people who have the power to do this. It's kind of eerie if you listen to it, because he knows what the conversation is, what the rhetoric, what people are speaking about behind the scenes, what they're meeting about and they're speaking about behind the scenes also. Let's watch.
Put him in check. Be like, yo, bro, like, let's talk about everything. But that's a problem. He feels unstoppable. He feels like,
hey,
I don't know.
Let me give you an example. By the way, I want to congratulate you. First of all, you are the I don't want to say necessarily snake, but you're the head of the goat when it comes to Twitch streaming. I looked today on Twitch, which, by the way, I'm so bad, but I looked on Twitch and there's so many people. I see Kai with 100,000. I see all these other people 30, 20, and the streaming community is so big now, and it's so mainstream what streaming is. That's because of you. You were banned for 2 years. You just got on banned. I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that you got banned. Me and you were gonna link up in a few days. Like, we're gonna have a good time. Love you, brother. Right? Yeah. Like, we've always had a great relationship. But if you realize, and I heard you say this because I seen on like Fearbook, that like you did feel like defeated at a time because you felt like, especially with that ban, it was like really just isolating you away from other creators you love, this and third. Let me give a fictional scenario. If you could. If again, whether you're looking into it too much or whatever, let's say you're Twitch banned. Let's say then they censor your YouTube or they take you off YouTube. And
see, Akademiks is trying to validate the perspective of Kanye. And look at Adin's face. He's not having it. They don't want to hear anything. If anything is against what they stand for, anything, they don't want to hear it. Matter of fact, they're going to label it anti, the word. So, but check out Adin's face. He's not trying to hear Akademiks validating Kanye's point of view, or maybe even defining to him that this is just his personal opinion, his POV, his point of view. Not anything he's trying to incite anybody to think or convince anybody of. But let's watch.
You realize things around yourself starts collapsing, and you realize either there's an agenda or maybe some invisible hands or people, maybe not all in like cohorts saying we're gonna do this to Adin, but wouldn't you, even in frustration, say, these motherfuckers are out for me, bro, and lash out accordingly? I'm only giving you that example because when you ask him, I know it's easy to say what's the right thing or whatever to do. We don't have those perspectives. That's not our reality. His reality, he's watched his bank account get froze. He's watched his lawyers that happen to be of a certain.
They happen to be Jewish, and they happen to be Jewish,
right? And they're literally saying you're going to lose your kid. Every
single Jewish person is evil and all these things.
No one is saying that.
That's my take on it. That's my take.
No, you're right.
By the way, did Kanye say all of people? He didn't say all, right? He was just giving his personal experience on what was done to him and how he views his view on how the industry is and the banking systems and the corporations. Now, you could agree or you could not agree, or you could say he's lying or whatever, but that's just his take on it, right? Let's watch.
Of course, but what I'm trying to say is that what he's speaking to is his POV. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Do I agree with it? I've had nothing but positive interactions with anybody of Jewish descent. He feels opposite. Because he feels opposite, should we tell him to shut the fuck up and pretend he doesn't see a pattern? Or should he be able to? But what I'm trying to say is that what he's speaking to is his POV. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do I agree with it? I've had nothing but positive interactions with anybody of Jewish descent. He feels opposite. Because he feels opposite, should we tell him to shut the fuck and pretend he doesn't see a pattern? Or should he be able to say what he wants? Yes or no?
I always believe in freedom of speech.
Well, that is the point of freedom of speech, Adin, and everybody who's invested in this issue. You don't get it both ways. It's either freedom of speech or you're that person fighting against freedom of speech. It's no levels. It's no, unless it's that or unless it's this. We have laws around freedom of speech, like if you incite a riot, if you incite violence, if you incite activity, terrorist activity, then that's a crime. But in terms of freedom of speech, we're all granted freedom of speech. And if you're with it, you're with it. Or if you're not, you're against it. And you just have to be prepared in standing and saying, I'm against free speech. You don't have it. You don't get it both ways. Let's watch.
But you could be freedom of speech, but you could be a complete idiot. I've been on that path too. People can say what they want to say about me as well. I just know, I get it too, I get why he's doing it. I trust me, I do. I just don't think it's correct to do, but whatever. Personally.
There was a time that you and him were supposed to do something. I always...
Is it from that? Yes. No, I'm kidding. Well, obviously, like, I watched your guys' interview. It was very interesting, by the way. I watched it last night.
Let me ask you a question.
Very, very, very.
Do you think I should have edited anything? I was big on not editing anything.
No. I told you to drop it on X. You know, they wouldn't delete it and shit like that.
And by the way, they haven't.
I actually understand everything you're saying about him, why he's doing it. I get it. Fully. I just still think... What you drinking there? Tito's?
Brother.
Sorry. I just think...
Hey, by the way, I'm going to give you some context. The reason why I'm like you calling that out, so before I did the interview with Ye told me, and I didn't know Ye was tapped in. Ye says, Ak, no Hennessy before we do the interview.
Oh, damn.
And he said, the reason I'm telling you no Hennessy, he said, when they canceled me 2 years ago, I was off the Henny. And that's all that stuff, which I guess he was admitting to me, like pretty much he was a little bit lit. You know what I mean? But like, I was super focused, sober as a talking to that nigga. You know? Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. I've gone down the path where I've had platforming certain people and certain shit, and I realized, like...
Do you regret it?
No, I don't regret anything I've ever done, bro. I really don't. And anyone that says they regret anything, they're just... Did you
perform Nick Fuentes at a point, or am I tripping?
Yeah, I don't regret anything I've ever done, because if I didn't do certain things, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Do you understand? With the knowledge. Like, I don't regret shit, bro.
However, it's the reason why when you get unbanned, you get the Hasanabis and all those people. They start talking like, yo, why are you unbanning this guy? This guy's done A, B, C, and D. Do you then feel like, well, yeah, I wanted to hear... I thought I could have, like, you know, just really truthful or honest conversation with someone who maybe people don't like. But now I'm like marred with people thinking that because I platformed this person, I believe everything they believed. You know what I mean? And for me, even with dropping this Ye interview, like, you know, for me, I had to also have my own convictions to say, I knew he was going to say some stuff.
Right.
I knew I wasn't going to be in an interview agreeing with everything. I was hoping to do enough pushback and ask questions. But I don't know if people are like, yo, you're standing next to this guy, especially when he told me, I'm in the car, he says, I'm wearing this outfit. Hey, you're standing next to this guy wearing this. You must believe this. And that becomes a thing. And for me, I was just like, I do disagree with Ye. Ye knows this. I disagree with him on some things. I agree with him on some, but I didn't feel like, I feel like I would be if I was just like, I'm just gonna either edit the whole thing or just run away from it. What's that?
Yeah, I get it, bro. I just feel like I've learned a lot these past few months, right? I've learned a lot, and when it comes to certain things and how to deal with them and shit like that. I just think somebody like him, he's got a family. You got to be very, very careful because, brother, that's what people want to do. They want to separate families. They want to make them feel even worse.
Yeah, so did you hear that? That was like the first soft threat, you know? So you know what happens to people like that? Their families get separated, man.
I just think he needs to just get the fuck off the internet, focus on being healthy and focus on being the best version of himself.
Let me ask you this question.
And be with family.
Let me ask you this question. Everything you're saying, I thought about. I had an elaborate question list if we were gonna do that, and by the way, we're gonna do like the back and forth. We're gonna get to that type of interview. When you say family, when he then tells you, okay, cool, if you're saying what I'm doing is affecting my family, but you have no problem with my ex-wife sexualizing our kids, how could I take you serious?
See, right here, he's talking about Kim Kardashian and how, you know, Kanye feeling he's out of the house now and he doesn't have any power, and he sees Kim posting North with Ice Spice, or with these sexual posts, or what he feels is sexualizing North with makeup, or inappropriate dancing, or being around like Ice Spice or other characters, and he feels like he has no control as a parent. Something any father going through either a broken home or divorce or co-parenting would say. The same thing.
And that is part of his gripe. He's like, hey,
Can I ask you a question though? When it's very ironic when he has like Bianca, for example, his wife, strip down all naked, right, in front of and do you think that his kids don't see that? Like, come on, be real, bro.
Comparing what Axe said to what a grown man is doing with his woman, a grown man promoting, a public figure promoting his brand, doing shock value stuff online with his woman, in comparison to what Axe was saying. We're talking about his kids and the mother of his kids sexualizing his kids. Two different things. And why are you invested in merging the two? Or even, this just exposed his personal connection to this thing. It's like you're personally connected and wanting to disparage Kanye, no matter what the topic or however academics try to flip it and turn it. You know what I mean? You're just exposing yourself.
Bro, do you think his kids don't see that shit? The kids are on the internet. Do you think they don't see that? They see it, bro. Come on.
However, she's an adult. They're children. So, again, with an adult, Bianca Censori is an adult. Again, you have autonomy over your kids.
I get it. I'm just saying, bro, that's how the internet is. For example, who texted you that? I didn't fucking look at that shit. I was looking at my Twitter. Nobody texted me that. It's just true. They're on, I've seen them on TikTok, right? It's and by the way, gay? He at first I don't want my daughter on TikTok. He doesn't want that.
Exactly, Adin. That's what he's talking about. Can you imagine the feeling of a father powerless when it comes to issues or situation with their child, and then getting to see those issues or see the repercussion of that state of powerlessness play out on social media? You open social media, you've seen your children involved in behaviors you don't want them involved in at the behests of their mother, meaning at the control of their mother. You got to understand that's what this guy was going through.
So, do you think that's wrong? Because I've seen him make some very, to me, wholesome stances for his kids. Hey, I think my daughter's too young for makeup. I think my daughter's too young for certain poses and to be dancing to certain songs. I don't want my daughter to be, yes, granted, I dated this woman that was super sexualized, but she's an adult. My daughter should not take after the woman that I dated because I'm her father and I don't want her to be like that. I think that's fair and reasonable. Do you agree or no?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, well, no, you're right. You're right about that. I just think, like I said, man, I feel like the damage that he's doing, it's not just on him. It's obviously, it's going to backfire.
The damage that he's doing. What damage? You understand? This is a man speaking his POV in an interview with an urban internet persona. What are we talking about? You see, they're trying to massage the rhetoric to be this impactful thing that this guy is doing, because they're trying to generate this action that they're ready to pull. And I want you to connect the dots. Dots is a whole nother video. I mean, between Adin Ross and, other people all the way up to Trump behind the scenes. The dots connect. They're massaging this narrative that they're trying to put on this guy. And I don't think it's right. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you think it rises to the level of hate speech? Get involved. Let me hear what you think. Drop it in the comment. Let's keep watching.
I just obviously want what's best for everybody, bro. I don't know, man. It's just sad to see is all. That's it.
Wait, why didn't you do your conversation with him? I mean, you have been one to,
I called it. Well, we were supposed to do a stream back in 2022. He thought I asked him, we were talking every day for a few days. He yelled at me and then he blocked my number. As
he tells this story about booking an interview with Kanye a few years back and they were speaking every day, I hear some animosity. Things went bad. It's another story connected to that. I'll do a video on that behind the scenes. He'll talk about it here. And that was a big thing, how Kanye just blocked him and didn't speak to him and just basically just ghosted him after they planned to do the interview and was spending time with each other, getting to know each other for the interview. So I do hear a little animosity there, Adin.
Did you do anything? Or what was that conversation before that?
I just asked him like, are you afraid of this? Talk about God, stuff like that. And then 3 years later, obviously, then you saw what happened.
Wait, you just asked him if he's afraid of God and he blocked
This was back in 2022. Nick told the story on this, actually. It's like, there's a whole story on it. But I don't know, man. Like, I asked him, like things like, are you afraid of dying? Are you afraid of this, that, God questions? I don't know, man. Obviously, like, I'm a fan of the music, and it just sucks what I see, but it's okay.
So he said that interview was 2022, that whole experience, and it wasn't a good one. It ended up, Kanye blocked him. The conversation got on religious aspects. He was asking him about God. So my thing is, if you already know you're at odds with this guy religiously and in y'all religious outlook, where is this shock and concern? Where is the base of this concern and this shock coming from? You already know you guys don't see eye to eye on those kind of topics. You know what I mean? I feel like he's an agent sent to put this rhetoric out there. He's not even truly offended by it or confused by it, because he already know him and Kanye is at odds in terms of not seeing eye to eye in terms of those kind of topics and religious outlooks and all that. Even in his own words, it's a whole other story on that. I'm gonna do that video. Make sure you subscribe here to see the other content and the other stuff I upload and the videos and the content that connects to other content. It's all connected. This comes from the Kanye interview. And my whole thing is where is this coming from? You gotta ask yourself that. He said something about an agent in the beginning of this interview. So is that a Freudian slip, or, is that a dead giveaway? I mean, comment in the box. Let me know how you think. Let's keep watching.
Back, I think you did great. I think you did what you're supposed to do, and you did amazing. And
would you ever sit with Ye
in public?
What do you mean?
Not in private.
I mean, what I've learned about Ye is that a lot of things that you believe are private are public. So if you wanted
like I would sit with him at the warehouse, not in my house or his house.
Suppose he wanted to do a stream in Japan.
I'd go, right? Because I said this before too. I would do a stream with anybody that's interesting. I believe in that stuff. I believe in, like, obviously that's why your interview was amazing. I believe in, that's what streaming is about, like hitting new heights and doing new shit. Like, and Putin, yes, Putin. I would do. That's the thing. I would do a stream with literally anybody interesting at all.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, I would do it. Of course I would. Like, that's, of course. I'm a streamer. I did President Trump. People were mad at me. People are still mad at me to this day. You know?
You know what's so funny? And that's what I was trying to say even with Kanye. I said to him, I said, it's ironic, like, people's feelings change. The first initial big backlash with Ye was when he wore the red hat and he was basically supporting Make America Great. Right. Trump won the presidency this year.
This question Akademiks is about to ask him is the important question to the whole video about, is it hate speech? Do you think he's encouraging other people to hate? Or do you think he's just telling you how he feels, his personal opinion on certain things, right? Or is he trying to incite anybody else to feel this way and even incite action against those group of people? Let's watch.
Be honest. Like, with his rhetoric, with everything he's saying, do you feel like he's encouraging?
There's just hate right now in the world, you know? I think there's a difference between, and certain other, like, it's just different. It's like, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's so, like, he's just basically generalizing every single person. You want my honest opinion on that track list? It's horrible.
Okay.
And I think someone that is still fascinating and praising is crazy. He killed people. He killed a lot of people. You know, someone like Kanye, or excuse me. He's all for, obviously, God. You know, Jesus was Jewish.
Wow, did he just pull the Jesus is just like us card? But that's crazy, Adin. Damn.
Right.
By the way, I'll play devil's advocate here. Barack Obama killed a lot of people as well. Trump too. Like, basically agree for whether a military. Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Wow. Did Akademiks qualify, equate, or even try to rationalize anything that Adolf said? Wow.
But, just to flush out your thoughts a bit, not that I'm defending that person. I wouldn't even say the name.
I get it. I just think, like, the Holocaust is a real thing.
I agree.
And it just sucks because there's people that have went through the Holocaust, and he's making a song about praising that person, that kind of was.
Does it make it hard for you to support him?
Sorry, what?
Does it make it hard for you to support him? Because I do know you love his music.
I love him. I love his music. He's one of my favorite artists, but it just sucks that there's obviously a lot of weird energy on the internet. So I'm gonna actually look like the bad guy here, which is kind of fucking crazy. But I think anyone that is actually liking is a person that needs to just understand was an evil person. Like, he was evil. I just don't really think there's another way to justify that. But that's why people are gonna take that road and troll. In real life, there's no way they actually will believe that that guy is a good guy. So, I mean, yeah.
I do think it's an intriguing conversation. I don't know if Kanye is all the way fully articulate enough to kind of put the points down that kind of match what his, you know, mentality and his rhetoric is. But I would love to see him try to have that conversation with someone that, like you, I could tell, like, yo, you're my man's.
Not even me. I would sit down. I would have him have a conversation with somebody more knowledgeable on these topics. And I think that Ye would look like really, really bad. Because I'm gonna tell you why.
Well, I'm pretty sure you would bring somebody else's. I don't know who would be his probably.
Somebody that knows history, like obviously, like is better than me. I'm not really the best guy that knows history. And even beside Palestine and Israel conflict, like even besides that, I think, like I said, praising in general, he was a very bad man. I don't know why I even have to say that without people understanding. But look, bro, this is running in circles. I think
you see, he's frustrated right here. He can't even communicate what he's angry about, meaning he knows Kanye has an opinion that goes against his people, but that's just his opinion. What are you so angry about? Do you think he's trying to incentivize or, you know, activate or even incite other people to pick up this rhetoric and harm people? I don't think he is. He never said anything like that. So what are you truly angry about? What is this big uproar and this emotional outburst and feedback against Kanye? What is it? Can you tell me in the box? What is it?
You're doing great for your standpoint. You're being academics, you're interviewing, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But there's a lot of hate in this world and separation. And I think that people need to understand that not every person of this race or this religion is bad. I think that it's all matters about how you're raised. It all matters about what trauma you go through, how you grew up. It matters about like experiences. That's how you are as a human being. So with that being said, not every single person that's Jewish is bad.
See, I agree with Adin on that point. There's too much divisiveness in the world, but I don't think people understand the mechanics of how the freedom of speech is supposed to work. Let people speak their minds. This is the only way to identify people. See, if you infringe on freedom of speech, then you force these people underground. Freedom of speech keeps everything out there. Let them speak their mind. You don't have to agree. And like I said before, there are laws governing if that gets outside of the box. Meaning if they incite violence or they incite a mob or terrorism, there are laws around that to govern that. But freedom of speech itself should always be, you know, adhered to. Let people speak their mind. That's what built this country, and that's what makes Western civilization strong. Freedom of speech.
No. I mean, you're preaching to the choir here. I clearly agree.
Right. So preaching somebody like is. We're running in circles here. I just want you to understand.
Wait, no. So here's what I'm saying. How do you think that gets like mitigated with someone like Ye? Because I don't know if
I think he's not well. I think that's the thing with him, right? He's not well. He's not all the way there right now. He's not well. Now he's a very, very smart person because he's created so many styles of music that are used, but he's not well. I mean, he's just not.
He says he's not well, but you're not identifying what is he not well about. Is it because he has an opinion that's against what your people stand for? An opinion? That's why he's not well? And what do you intend to do with these people that are not well? You understand? This goes back to less than 2 years ago when they even redefined what anti is. You know, any narrative, any rhetoric that disagrees with their stance is considered that, you know. So it's such a broad, crippling, restrictive thing to other people. And I don't think that they see that perspective. That is so restricting to other people's thoughts, opinions, their perspective on things, and their right to voice that.
Right? I think somebody needs to just shake him up. Be like, hey, and don't medicate him. I have to make it very clear. But he needs help. 100% needs help.
So would you or would you not sit with him? Given, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, even when I speak to him in private, I always tell people, I'm like, hey, listen, and hopefully I'm not exposing this guy or whatever, because I love him as well, but like, I've seen Uzi, like all that devil stuff, cool, y'all see it on there. When you talk to Uzi's a regular person. Like, he's not like
it's different though. It's different.
With Kanye, whatever you've seen online, if you talk to him, that's exactly how he feels. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Exactly how it feels.
Yeah. And again, like, obviously, with what I just said, it's not going to click in people's brains. People are going to use it against me. But any logical person understands what Ye is doing is not good. It's creating a lot and lots of pain. And I think he just should just stop and show love speech, right? Like that sneak. be love, like love, right? Like we were once there, it's not there anymore. I don't know. And that's it. There's just a lot of bull. But hey, we're running in circles. You do your yay.
You do your shit with yay. You just go ahead, do your thing. I'm gonna be over here chilling. His feelings are hurt, man. He's really hurt by this whole situation, and that's what's skewing his perspective and his perception. And he's building on that and putting this narrative out there. You understand? And that's what I'm against. That's what I'm confronting in this video. You know, and then they want to, through that personal perspective and that personal insulted, offended platform, but they want to create this narrative about hate speech. It's not hate speech, it's his opinion. It's Kanye, a music artist opinion. That's it.
Yeah, I'll definitely say this. Like you being a friend of mine, even this conversation, I feel like it hurts you a little bit to hear Ye say all that stuff.
It does. I love his music. 808s, my beautiful dark twisted fantasy. Like, even bro.
I think Akademiks was genius for using a little journalistic gaslighting here, gaslighting Adin to show how emotionally attached he is to this issue, and still, in the end, not really voicing any true opinion or any true factual opinion or statement on why he feels so strongly about the issue. I think this was genius. Watch the Throne. I'm like, all like graduate. It just sucks. It does suck. It really sucks. It really, really does. I know him. I've been a follower of his music for such a long time. It just sucks. That's it. Now I feel like alrighty.
We're on like a somber mood now. Anything else to change?
I don't want that.
To change the
don't
mood
fuck it up. Go feel good. Act. You did the interview. You fucking killed it. You're great at what you do, and that's why people love you. And I was so happy to see you get a moment like that, because you deserve it. You're the GOAT of this. You're the GOAT of your world. You're the GOAT of interviewing. You're the GOAT of all this. You're the GOAT who puts shit together and make it lit. That's what you do. I always give you your flowers. And when they try to cancel you out, I was the one to have your back publicly.
Hey.
So people want to say, oh, silence. Fuck all that, bro. I had your back because I you as a human being.
So we all know Akademiks got into his own thing on Twitch when he had that child streamer, that minor, come into his stream and they were having inappropriate conversations. He's saying that during that time, Adin stood up for him, and that's what Adin is recollecting right now when he stood up for Akademiks. So these guys have a history and they have interesting chemistry on camera, but I like how subtly Akademiks calls him on his stuff. If you watch the interview and watch it all the way through, he calls him subtly on his stuff. He gaslights him to see if he's really going to verbalize and be able to communicate what is actually bothering him. What are you actually so upset about, right? Let's watch.
I hate being silenced. I hate being canceled. I hate all that shit, bro.
Hey,
I've been there, so I know what that's like.
Hey, I just want to say this. When I went through all I went through in the last month, I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is why when people talk about Adin, I don't see race, I don't see ethnicity, I don't see religion. Adin Ross was the only streamer. When I say the only, you can't name it. Whoever you thinking, and we're talking about streamers here, because there's other people, but streamers of importance, the only person that said, act, bro, this is bull. They're getting on you. They don't like you. We all know who you are. Everybody knows act. We know you're not A, B, C, and D. I fuck with you. And Adin told me, Adin says, yo, I'm not gonna be one of these pussy motherfuckers that's gonna just all the way run for the hills. He says, yo, come do my boxing event with me. I fuck with you. And when I fuck with someone, I'm not a bitch and just sit back until that person just get eaten by everyone. I say, I fuck with this person. I'm gonna be honest with you, Adin. This is why nobody could ever tell me nothing bad about you. Like, I honestly, like, this is not even no bullshit. And I've said it, like, me and AJ, we have talks about this all the time. I said, Adin's the realest streamer. Because Adin will, even if his audience is saying, man, fuck act. If Adin rocks with me, Adin's gonna be like, and I understand that, brother. That's very tough. I want to say thank you for that.
You don't have to thank me. The point I'm trying to make for you is, I get it with all these Jewish people and all these things that people say, but it's not like that with me, bro. Like, it really comes down to it, bro. I fuck with you, and like, I don't ever want to. I would never ever use that against you. So when I'm happy for you that you're back and you did one of your best shit you ever done in your career, it makes me happy. You know why? Because I fuck with you as a human being. I don't give a fuck about any of this shit, bro. Like, when it comes down to it, I choose what I like and I choose what I don't like. And they try to get you up out of here for no fucking reason. I know you're not a weirdo what they try to make you be. You're not. You're a hip hop guy who loves music. And that's what you do. And that's why when you do these interviews and shit, I'm like, I'm glad Act's getting it. I'm glad Act's getting this time. I get mad when sometimes I don't see you get these interviews because it's like, you deserve it, bro. You deserve it out of anyone else because you help people out. You help people out. You care, and you do the same shit that I do. If someone's in trouble, you stick right by their side and you fucking you put your shield up and you help out as well. And that's why you're a good individual. So that's why when I watch the interview, I'm this whole time like, Act got this shit. Act, there's nobody else I want to see do this shit. You deserve this shit, and that's what I mean, bro. So I don't want to sit here and sound like a hater when it comes to this yay shit. I have my own mixed feelings about it, bro. That's why I'm speaking the way I was speaking. But when it comes down to it, I'm glad that you're getting this shit and nobody else is. So you deserve it, bro. And I love you, bro. And like I said, bro, I'll call you off stream about everything. But I'm glad you're getting everything going, though, bro. You deserve it, seriously. Fuck these people that were hating on you. You don't deserve this shit, bro. You're a good person, and it's all love, bro. That's it.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, the last thing, because I know how tough this is. Not only with the yay shit, even the Cardi shit too. Yo, we got it. Yo, me, you, and Cardi, we gotta go do a stream in Atlanta, man.
It's not gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen. But I'll tell you what.
So with the Cardi thing, remember a few months back, Cardi was booked on Adin's stream. He showed up to the stream. By the way, Adin paid him $2 million to come on his stream, right? It was set up by Twitch and all of this stuff. It was a big thing. He came on the Twitch, spent 5 minutes, took the money and left and just ghosted and bounced. So this is why Akademiks brought up Cardi.
His album is good.
You rock with it,
songs
right?
on there. Got some good songs on there. I hit somebody around him about this shit. It's not gonna happen. I tried. I reached out. It's not gonna happen. But it's okay. I don't blame him though. I don't blame him. If he doesn't fuck with me, let's not force it. He did very well with Kai, and I think you and him should do something. And let's not force shit nowadays. Let's just let shit happen naturally. And that's why I'm so happy when you get the shit, because you deserve it. But all love, bro.
Adin, again, I just want to thank you for being a real nigga, bro. I'm gonna just keep it a being with you. I want to make it very clear. Every streamer you've seen, like, they'll call me, especially when it's a hip hop news breaking or whatever. Everyone's calling me. When that time came, niggas act like they didn't know me. The only person that kept texting me, yo, Act, yo, I fuck with you, yo, whatever. Yo, Act, yo, pull up to my box, let's go. Act, I fuck with you. We were even sending each other clips like, yo, these people are hypocritical, bro. Like, this is crazy. I fuck with you. And bro, I don't want to thank you for that, but yeah, yo, by the way, I'm seeing you soon, ain't I?
You're coming to Miami in this room like how you had it that one time. Let's go.
Yo, are we freestyling or what?
We doing a lot of shit. I got some shit. Don't worry, I got some shit.
Yo, hold on. Last thing. Did you lock in that boxing match with Fresh and Sneeko?
Fresh didn't want to do it in April. I'm gonna see if we can do it in May, but I doubt it. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think Fresh wants this fight.
What? Oh, we gotta get it going.
I would love to. I don't think he wants to do it, but
Adin, you're another fucking GOAT, man. I appreciate you so much. To his chat, yo, as I said, everything you're seeing, and I love the streaming community. Even no matter if people are on YouTube, Kick, or even Twitch, it's all one big community. You help further this shit more than anyone else. And bro, just appreciate you, brother. And I'm glad we have a relationship and we're gonna keep continuing to build.
Love you, bro. I'll see you in a few days, bro.
All right, definitely, bro.
All right.
And that's it right there. He couldn't fully communicate or eloquate, enunciate, or even make a true point about what Kanye is really doing besides just an artist giving his opinion in an interview. You know, that's it. I just heard a lot of emotion. I heard a lot of personal attachment to what he said. You know, he definitely was offended. You know, Kanye offended a lot of people. That's a given. But should he be shut down, ostracized, criminalized, and even targeted for the things he said? And did it raise to the level of hate speech? I don't think it did, because like we said before, it is defined differently and depending on where you read it. But the main thing about the definition to me is inciting the violence, is coaching the violence, is utilizing the speech to transform the minds of others, to incite them to perform acts of violence. Sort of what's going on with the Tesla protests. But that's just a whole nother video. Thanks for watching, man. It's the Trey Brown channel. I do things like this over here. Make sure you subscribe if you like the content. Come back, check out more content, or add the notification bell so you'll know when I add new content. Thanks for watching. Thanks again. I'll be back.